Hey, it's Monica Spain from Community Transit, and this is That Transit Show. Today we're going to be talking about the explosive population growth in the northern part of Snohomish County, and we'll talk about how bus rapid transit could offer a solution for traffic congestion there. Welcome aboard. Joining me today on That Transit Show is Morgan McGrath, who manages Community Transit's Bus Rapid Transit program. Morgan, thanks for being on That Transit Show today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So today we're going to talk about the newest incarnation of our Swift Bus Rapid Transit line, the Gold Line. We already have the Blue Line, the Green Line, and the Orange Line. So tell us a little bit about BRT and where they run and where this new line will be.
So those are all kind of in the southern area, and the Swift Gold Line, which will be the fourth line, will be providing service to North Snohomish County. So we're really excited to be bringing what Swift is and all the amenities and all that goes along with it.
Tell us a little bit about the amenities. What's different about BRT?
One of the things I just love is you can just show up to the station. You don't need to check a schedule because it's running every 10 minutes during peak periods. So it just kind of gives you that peace of mind. You can show up, and then when you show up, you can actually prepay before you board. So you can board at any of the 3 doors when the bus arrives, and you don't have to worry about the bus not stopping or making sure it stops at where you need to go. They stop at all the different stations.
Okay, and so the rapid and bus rapid transit is part of that, like 3 doors open, you've already paid, so you just step on. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so tell us about some of the destinations that the Gold Line will serve, and also when is it going to open?
So the Swift Gold Line right now we're projecting to launch in 2031. The line itself will be going from Arlington to Marysville to Everett, and we'll be stopping at some key trip destinations like Everett Community College, City Hall in downtown Marysville. There's some medical facilities and grocery stores, and then the Everett downtown loop, which has things like the Shack Art Center, Funko, the Theater, Angel of the Winds.
Lots of fun places to stop, and also important, useful places that people need to go, it sounds like. So traffic has definitely the choke point for traffic has moved further north in recent years. Is that part of why bus rapid transit is a good choice for that area? Tell us more about why it was chosen. We
also want to provide service not just for South Snohomish County, but we wanted to look at North Snohomish County, and now is a great time. You know, I love where we live. Snohomish County is, I think it's been found.
Yeah, the population is definitely growing here.
It's growing, and so we really wanted to look at how are we going to give people another way to get around the area and providing that connectivity to future light rail, other Swift services, local service, etc. And we wanted to make sure we're focusing on that reliability and future-proofing. Mm-hmm. So one thing we're doing slightly different on the Swift Gold Line is we are looking at dedicated transit lanes in select key areas in Everett and Marysville.
Okay, so when you talk about dedicated transit lanes, we don't have that right now with our other Swift lines for the most part. The buses run in the same lanes that traffic runs. So tell me more about dedicated transit lanes and what that would look like for the Gold Line.
Yeah, so of the 15-mile corridor, we're looking at about 5 miles, give or take or so, in Everett and Marysville. So in Everett, we're looking at North Broadway, and that would look at 2 different configurations. So that could be 2 dedicated bus lanes or potentially 1 shared lane. So yes, the buses would be operating in the middle of the roadway. They'd be isolated from general purpose traffic, so people wouldn't also have to worry about stopping behind a bus. I know that some people get so frustrated, so that would be alleviated in those select areas, and also increasing our reliability and travel times. And then in Marysville, we will be looking at just the single bidirectional lane, and that's really just driven because of the lack of roadway that we have and kind of the narrow road.
Yeah, what there is to work with is kind of confines what you can build.
Right.
So These are called center running transit only lanes is one of the options that you're looking at. And so how will people access these stations that are going to be in the middle of the road, because people are used to being on the sidewalk, and so this is going to be in the center of the roadway?
So we would place the stations at the pedestrian crossings, and so you'd access them just like you were going to cross the street. So you'd hit the crosswalk button, and at the midpoint there would then be a ramp or a way to access the station there. And so say you didn't want to access the station, you just wanted to cross the street. It's also improving pedestrian safety because it acts as a pedestrian refuge island in case you didn't have enough time to cross all the way.
So are we losing any lanes if we go this route of putting in center running transit only lanes? And just to be clear, it's not 100% decided yet, right?
Right. So that's one thing we'll be sharing in this upcoming outreach that we have for a 4 series. But no, to answer the question, we will not be losing any lanes. We will be maintaining the same number of through lanes there are today.
There are already some bus routes serving that area. A lot of people know the 201 and 202. Those are really popular routes. So how is this going to be different?
In this case, there's going to be more stops in those areas in North Broadway, for example, than the 201 and 202 have today. And then that frequency, I think, really is the key there. So making it really easy to just show up at the station and getting on the bus when you need to, and not having to worry about when the next bus is coming.
Okay, because the frequency is like every 10 minutes during the day.
And then, while you're waiting, we have station amenities like real-time informational displays. So you can see how long you have to your next bus. So maybe you want to grab a cup of coffee beforehand. You'll know, oh, I still have 10 minutes, or the next bus is coming in X number of minutes, so I can go grab that.
All right. So looking a little farther into the future, light rail will be coming north, even further north, and that's a ways off. But when you're planning something of this size and you talk about, future-proofing the system as you did, can you talk about how this line will help make the most of light rail when it does come?
So light rail's going to end at Everett Station right now. And so we're working really closely with not only Sound Transit, but our other jurisdictional partners and Everett Transit, making sure that really is a hub for people to make those connections. And so, for example, we want to make sure that the accessibility and how those connections are made is top of mind. So if someone's taking the blue line, for example, and they want to continue further south or further north, they could then make that connection to the gold line, or someone coming from the opposite direction. Maybe they took the gold line down to Everett Station and they want to take light rail, or maybe they want to take another local service through Everett Transit.
Well, it's a lot to look forward to, Morgan. Thank you so much for being on That Transit Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now let's take a closer look at what the Swift Gold Line will look like when it opens.
As Everett, Marysville, and Arlington face rapid growth, traffic looms as a major challenge. More people mean more cars on the road. Community Transit is expanding the Swift Bus Rapid Transit Network to give you faster, more reliable transit options. It's a solution that will benefit everyone, whether you drive or ride. We're adding Swift Gold Line, connecting Everett, Marysville, and Arlington, some of the fastest growing cities in North Snohomish County. Swift Gold Line will connect with local bus routes and other transit options like Zip Shuttle, Swift Blue Line, Sounder trains, and eventually Link Light Rail in Everett. Swift Gold Line will serve destinations like downtown Everett, Angel of the Winds Arena, the future Everett Outdoor Events Center, Everett Community College, and the Cascade Industrial Center in Marysville and Arlington. Here's how Swift Gold Line will benefit Snohomish County. More people using transit means fewer cars on the road. Safer, more convenient sidewalks for walking and transit access. Smoother traffic flow for both buses and cars. Better access to jobs and businesses. We're exploring ways to build Swift Gold Line, including center-running, transit-only lanes in portions of the route in Everett and Marysville. And here are 2 options for center-running, transit-only lanes that could be implemented. One option includes 2 dedicated lanes, one for buses going north and one for buses going south. The other option uses one shared center lane where buses can take turns passing at stations or predetermined points along the route. Think of it like a railroad with one line. Buses will have signals like a single-track train line. Both options make travel easier for everyone, and both options will improve streets and intersections for drivers, transit riders, and pedestrians with no additional local funding or new taxes. You can learn more about Swift Gold Line and how we're helping to create more connected communities at ctgo.org/swiftgold.
We want to hear what you think, so tell us during the next public comment period for the Swift Gold Line. This has been That Transit Show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Spain. We'll see you at the next stop.